Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the first lecture dedicated to review. I shall start with chapter 1 according to your votes. Well, chapter 1 is entitled Basic Assessment Concepts, and I'd like you to open the book while listening to me, please, to match between my explanation and the book. Well, if you look at page number 1, under Basic Assessment Concepts, you will see 5 questions. What is assessment? Why do we assess? How do we assess? What do we assess? And finally, when do we assess? Well, these 5 questions summarize the chapter because each question is answered in part of the chapter. And inshallah, I'll make some sort of mental or intellectual maps, الخرائط الذهنية, for this chapter to make it easier for you to memorize the basic parts of the chapter. The first question, what is assessment? In this page, you find 2 definitions, assessment and testing, and the difference between them, some sort of comparison to distinguish between them. Assessment is wider and more comprehensive, definitely. Assessment includes any means of checking what students can do, and this is the positive or the strengths, the strong points, and what they cannot do. That is to say, the weaknesses, because all students have strengths and weaknesses. Well, so both are important and both are assessed. That is, for example, if your teacher examines you, definitely you would answer some questions correctly. These are your strengths. And some questions would be answered poorly. These are your weaknesses. So both will be assessed. تختبر نقاط القوة ونقاط الضعف. But a proper assessment, that is good assessment, gives due weight to the positive side of the student's achievement. That is to say, teachers should not look down on the weaknesses and say that these students, because they have weaknesses, they are poor or they are weak. No, they are not weak students. These weaknesses might be later ممكن أنه تصحح. So a positive viewpoint should be adopted by the teacher. Well, assessment uses variety of procedures and tools, like, for example, exams, quizzes, questions, participations, tasks, assignments, all these to get a good evaluation of the student. Now we come to testing. One of the most common and popular kind of assessment is testing. So assessment is it is wider than testing. Testing is one kind or one phase of assessment. Now, what does testing mean? It means presenting a student with questions, quizzes, participations, tasks, assignments. Why? In order to get a measure of his or her performance. And how this assessment is presented? By scores, by marks. The evaluation is given in scores or marks. The score indicates his performance or her performance. Now we come to the second question.